This week on The Sidetrack, we sit down with co-creator of HBO's Animals, Phil Matarese, to talk about the adult animated comedy, how it came to be, and a film from the 90s that changed the landscape of gross-out comedy. That's this week on The Sidetrack. Welcome back to yet another edition of The Sidetrack. It's me, your host, Paul Davidson, your master of ceremonies in this experiment in audio commentary goodness. This week, as mentioned just 32 seconds ago, we're going to be sitting down with HBO Animals co-creator Phil Matarese. Not sure if you guys have seen this show on HBO, 3 seasons worth, finished its run last year. Quite a unique concept, and quite a unique story, actually, because the way that this series came to be is a testament to how, in this day and age, you do not need to be the second cousin twice removed of some studio head. If you have got talent, you've got a great idea, there are multiple pathways to getting your project into the hands of people who can bring it to the world. And so we'll talk a little bit about that with Phil, the Sundance story, and then we're going to talk in detail about the film that Phil has chosen to record his own commentary for. That film, none other than the 1994 blockbuster comedy, Dumb and Dumber. Yes. Jim Carrey, the movie that made Jim Carrey a household name, the movie that made Jeff Daniels appear to be far more idiotic than we'd ever seen him in any of his dramatic roles previous to the film. But was a huge film for New Line Cinema. I was actually there. I was coming into New Line at the time the movie came out, and just watching the box office numbers rise through the roof was quite an exciting moment. We'll talk a little bit about that and hear why this movie, why does this movie inspire Phil? If you've watched Animals, any portion of the show, you'll know very quickly why this is a film that he's chosen for this week. So, without further ado, let us sit down with Phil Matarese and hear a bit about his show, what he's doing, and why, oh why, Dumb and Dumber. It's here on The Sidetrack. So I'm here with Phil Matarese. I want to know the 5 different ways that people mispronounce your name.
They give it always a flourish. I guess the vowels at the end, Matarese, Matarese, I've gotten a couple times. I remember in middle school, I don't know why I was called up for something like in front of the school, and she said, Philip, mattress. She just completely went for the thing you sleep on.
Mattress. It makes me think of matcha. Matcha's become a big thing lately. Matarese. Maybe that. What's the origin of Matarese?
What is the origin of Matarese? I don't know.
Where does it come from? Did it change? Did your ancestors come through Ellis Island and change it from something else?
Oh, from Matera. We came from Matera.
Okay.
Which is a place in Italy, I think.
Wow. Have you ever gone back?
I drove through it once, Italy, briefly on a tour, and I mentioned this in my little rundown, but ironically enough, me and Mike Luciano, who I made Animals with,
right,
when we were working at this ad agency, we had a big client that was the Snuggle Bear, and so we drove across
the bear that falls into the fluffy towels.
Yeah. And so I was the mascot. I dressed up as the Snuggle Bear on this tour across Europe, and we drove, Paul, in a fur-covered van.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God, dude. Much like.
Was this a part of your roles and responsibilities at the ad agency that you were the Snuggle Bear?
Yeah. Well, it was very strange. We were a New York ad agency, and then we got bought by this big global company that's based in France. And I don't know why they picked us. It was me, Mike, one of our producers, and then one of our videographer guys, and they just, I think, need honestly, I think they just needed four people that were like willing to die because it was a pretty sketchy trip. Like it was
Does
truly
the Snuggle Bear
describing crazy.
talk?
What's that?
Does
No,
does the Snuggle Bear talk?
no. And there was so many beautiful scenarios where it would vary. So it was for Snuggles' Facebook campaign, right? So it
Okay.
would be like Amsterdam's Facebook. We were making content for their videos and all that sort of shit. And so it would vary in size in various places. One time we had a fully d- pimped out double decker bus that was all Snuggles stuff. And other places it'd just be like a little pop up in the mall. But the biggest one was in Barcelona,
Right.
and we were at this mall, and I was on stage as a Snuggle Bear with the coach of Barcelona football team, so like a huge celebrity over there, and he was speaking Portuguese, and I couldn't understand him, and he would just gesture to me like something something something, and he would throw his hands to me, and I would just do a little dance. So I was just like kind of improving and trying to hug him and then messing with him and all that sort of stuff. It was
Does
really
the Snuggle
wild.
Bear get chicks, international chicks?
No, not
No,
at all.
not at all.
It
That
was a
there's a
pot-bellied
movie
little
there,
thing.
isn't there? There's a
What's
movie
that?
somewhere in there.
Oh, dude, believe me and Mikey been kicking that around for a while.
That's amazing. So you guys, you're working at this ad agency in New York. You're dressing up as Snuggle the Bear and
Mm-hmm.
spreading the positive words of soft laundry detergent.
Laundry, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And then as the story goes, you look at pigeons on outside the window at the ad agency. You guys make up. You're doing the dialogue for these birds, and the one day you say, "Fuck it, I don't know how to animate shit, but I'm gonna learn from 13-year-old YouTubers, and we're gonna put
Right.
some shorts together." Is that accurate?
Literally, yes. That is exactly what happened. It seems quite romantic now, but it was just one of those things where it was the first thing Mike and I ever collaborated on, and it was just a pure little small experiment. Mike had a variety show in New York, a comedy variety show, and it was just something in my head. I was like, I want to get into that somehow. I don't want to do stand up, and I don't want to do other stuff, so I'll make a little video. So yeah, and then it was just kind of a thing that we would do every month, just a
Like you
little
would
one
go
video.
around and show the shorts, right?
Basically, yeah, we did it at UCB Channel 101 New York,
Right. And
and
is that the
then we
Dan
were
Harmon
doing it at
connection? Is that
Mike's.
how you guys?
What's that?
Channel 101, Dan Harmon, Channel 101.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But this is the New York one, which is a little bit more. It's way smaller of a scene, and it's like, I don't know, weirder maybe. Like the LA one, I remember seeing like some of their videos, and it's like, it's everybody in the industry, so
Right.
it's like fucking insane.
Did you ever see Justin Roiland's House of Cosby's short?
I did, yeah, it's insane.
So hilarious.
Can you believe that's the guy? And even the origin of Rick and Morty, the first one, is so bonkersville.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's interesting. I always was like aware of Channel 101. I mean, look, any of these, I say it kind of in the opening of the episode here, which is that in this day and age, you don't need to be like the second cousin, twice removed of some television executive these days. I mean, over the last decade or more, to have the New York Television Festivals, the UCBs, the Channel 101s, the internet. If you have any motivation and any talent with a good idea, you can find a way to get that stuff out there, which is
Yeah,
nice.
100%. Yeah. It's so funny how it's just in basically anyone's computer is capable of that now. If you have a moderately okay, even laptop, maybe you should run these programs one at a time,
Yeah.
but that you still have the conduit to, make really funny, crazy stuff.
The question is, with all of this access, is the percentage of good content any bigger than it was when the gatekeepers of Hollywood were letting in the good content? I don't know.
Hmm. That is interesting. I guess I think no matter what, it's it's almost like you just gotta always look at your own plate and make sure that you're coming at it with a holistic view of what the thing is. Like, I don't know, I'll upload like a 10-second short to my Instagram page and it'll still have a cute title card on it and stuff, you know?
Right.
So it's keeping in mind, like, you can make your own little art, and if it doesn't pop, that's fine too. But as long as you're coming at it in a not shitty way, I guess is my.
So here's the ultimate question, or maybe not the ultimate question. I'm setting myself up. The ultimate question.
Yeah.
How much science, how much of the creation process of something like Animals is you and you and Mike just enjoying yourself and saying fuck it, like we're going to introduce I mean, as you go into like your second and third season,
Right.
introducing the Green Day and this whole, like, I mean, you guys kind of predicted the world, New York today, when there's very few humans
insane.
running around, and we've got animals kind of taking over the city.
Which, by the way, I still, it's, everyone reaches out to me about that. Like, you guys called it. And it's one of those things where it's like, I can't even comment on it because
Right.
it's so, tragic what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And it would just be so horrible for me to go, watch Animals season 2. This is it, man. I called all this shit.
Right.
So
Well,
I'm glad this is my first time on the record going, yeah, we did fucking call it. Maybe you should watch it because it's a good show.
Yeah, right. Like maybe it'll provide the solution to our ills. But
Right.
like Dan Harmon, who was a producer on the show, he's infamous for his, I don't know what he calls it, this story circle. Is that what he calls it?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's an element of science
Yeah.
data to how he crafts his stories. So what is your guys' process? Or what was your process on the show? Is there science behind it? Is it like, fuck it, like we just want to, tell X story that's just batshit crazy? Like, how did you guys approach it?
It is, well, first and foremost, it's what you mentioned before of Mike and I in a room together, literally trying to make each other laugh.
Right.
And keeping that, tapping into our, 15-year-old mindset of like really being comfortable, laying on couches and just like shooting the shit and really like truly whatever makes us laugh. And I think that's what really shines through for, I know we'll get to it eventually, but for Dumb and Dumber and why it was such an important movie for me. And even looking back at it now, like, yeah, it was the Farley brothers. You could tell they're just trying to make each other laugh.
Right.
It was their first movie. It's just like the essence of what I think comedy should be is that chasing after that kind of kid mind that you're just, I don't know, feels so good to get a laugh out of the other guy in the room and to make yourself laugh in that kind of belly laugh sort of way. But our process for breaking a story or whatever, dude, I used to be so caught up on structure. Like, I got the Save the Cat book, I got all the shit, and it just was like, it's almost like dissecting the frog, where it's just not fun. It immediately sucks the energy out of the project I'm working on. So anyway, Mike and I would very simply have an overture of what the episode would be. It's two flies, and we'll do like a 24-hour sort of thing.
Right.
Or, it's roaches in a wall, and it's kind of a action movie. Like anyone starts any movie of like, okay, I like this kind of genre. Right. I think this kind of little pocket could be a world to explore. So we get into that world, and then it's just these funny talking, lots and lots of talking. And honestly, me and Mike, we would talk and have a good time, but then it would be like 20-minute stretches of silence because we disagreed on something, and we're both very amicable dudes.
Yeah.
And we're both like kind of the same guy, like an Italian, like hot-blooded dude. So we'll just like get quiet and seethe at each other for a while.
Right.
And then something will happen, and then we'll break through, and it'll be like, another 2 hours of barfing out the idea. But so I think you start with this cool little pocket thing, you talk and talk and talk. And even if you're by yourself, it's talking to yourself
Right.
or writing down notes or just really freeform, fun, beautiful set pieces, beautiful, funny characters, funny interactions, funny things that happen in that world. If it's roaches, you kind of want to, I don't know, see various roachy sort of things. Or, you know, if you're setting up an action movie, you want to see, you know, good guy have a bad guy turn
Yep.
3/4 of the way into it. But for Mike and I, very simply, we would always have a huge whiteboard and we would draw 2 lines down it. And then, you know, that's 3 columns. And we would very, very loosely that was our 3-act
Got it.
structure.
Yep.
You know, and we know it's got to have a big punch at the bottom of the second pillar. We know it's got to kind of turn around at the middle of the second one. But even that, dude, it wasn't like really getting married to hitting those beats. And again, I can't stop thinking about it because I watched it yesterday, but even Dumb and Dumber, I was trying to pinpoint like the exact falling out of the dudes, but it sort of happens like 3 or 4 times. And it's
Right.
a beautiful movie because of that, because it's this a little bit looser and a little bit more of an elusive story. So
yeah, it's, you know, it really, at the end of the day, it's funny with all the, I mean, I'm a structure fanatic, and, you know, you can say in a movie, I talked about this before, page 15, you must have the catalyst of your movie, you must, but, you know, I think we all, as students of entertainment and fans of media, you just know if something's taking too long to happen. Like, it doesn't have to be page anything. Like, at the end of the day, if you haven't let your audience in on what the conflict or the story is going to be, you're going to feel it. So, you know.
Yeah. And that was a lot of it too, is yes, you're right. Because it's almost like just let yourself be open to that feeling more than the you know, checking off boxes of each one of the things. There's a really good South Park Matt and Trey talk for some MTV show where they talk about how they write stories. And I totally forget what they said, but basically it's like they know, you know, this happens and then this happens because of that. You know, it's always a domino effect. Something just kind of can't happen without anything happening before that. Or just, and it's innate. You know, you're right. It is this thing of like, we like stories and we like movies and we like TV shows, and I think inherently, most importantly, is to just write the thing and have a really good time, especially if it's comedy. Really good time writing it. And then, you know, we're doing this with a feature right now, Mike and I, where it's just like, we wrote the whole fucking thing. The third act is sheer chaos, but we made each other. I'm laughing all the time while we're working on it.
It's great.
And we'll go back and we'll fucking fix it. But the fact that we did it is, it's a thing now. It's a bigger thing that I can really kind of work the kinks out of.
Yeah, well, there's, I don't know if you know C. Robert Cargill. He wrote Doctor Strange. He's a bit of like the Confucius on Twitter of, you know, get your shit done. Like I think he has pinned to the top of his account. Like, so if it's not like something that's not finished, you just have to finish the thing. Finish it. It doesn't matter how bad it is. Once you have that finished thing, you can finally tweak it. But until it's done, that's the problem I think so many aspiring writers have, is they obsess over 25 pages for 3 years and they never get it done.
Oh my God, dude. Believe me, I've been there many times.
So let me ask this. So I won't get into like the whole deep Sundance story, but you take your shorts to Sundance, the Duplass brothers. Did the Duplass brothers, they were aware of it before you went to Sundance, right?
Yeah, actually, we linked up with them after New York Television Festival.
Got it.
Which is how you and I know each other.
That's right.
Through that world. So we screened a 11-minute short at NYTVF, and then it got that's how Mike and I got agents and managers. We had no idea how any of that shit worked.
Right. Was that the horse short where they shoot the horse in the gun?
No, it's actually an 11-minute short that I don't even know is up anywhere, but it was a pigeons short where they get stuck in an apartment.
Okay.
And I remember I took off a week from work. I told everyone I was going to Vermont because I wanted to be left alone, but I was just in my shitty Brooklyn apartment making that goddamn thing.
You didn't tell
But
them you were going to Vermont to do some more Snuggle outreach?
no,
All right.
I just wanted to be left alone, so I lied to all of them. Uh,
Lying's okay.
and then so yeah, we made that short, and then it got into the Duplass Bros hands, and then Mark basically was like, listen dudes, I like this short, why don't we make some episodes? And then we were like, okay. And we moved out to LA. We worked with him to get some of his friends to do voices in the first two
Mm-hmm.
episodes. Mike and I spent 9 months making the first two episodes. um, and again, it's those first two episodes that appear on HBO I animated in Final Cut Pro.
Wow.
So that whole fucking 13-year-old YouTubers, that shit made it all the way onto
Wow.
TV. So it
So
was just a lot of falling forward and figuring it out and all that sort of stuff. But then once we had two episodes with Duplass, we took it to Sundance.
got it. And does Starburns get involved after HBO?
Yeah. So we got picked up and they were like, okay, great. Now do 8 more episodes. And we were like, on our current schedule with 4 people, it would have taken us years.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to team up with an animation studio, and they're just fucking the coolest.
Yeah.
It's run by Harmon and Dino, so it was like a really cool. I don't know, just didn't feel like a lot of the other places that are just big and kind of sausage factories of animation. They're just a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah. No, those are when I ran the Orchard, we did a documentary, Harmontown, with Dan.
Oh right.
And that was all those guys over there, James, Fino, and they're all good folks over there. And they were doing Anomalisa at the time, and I remember we got to just go into the back and see all of the stages for Anomalisa, which I don't know how anybody is sane doing stop motion work where literally at the end of the day, if you've got 3 seconds, you're feeling good. That's insane.
Incredible.
Yeah. So here's a question about HBO. So you guys, there's a shift going from the second to the third season where suddenly we now have live. I think this is right. I don't know if I'm wrong, but my perception is that third season starts and now we have live action as kind of like bookends to each episode. We've got you and Mike sitting in a control room like soldiers walking us through. I love it's like episode 301, 302, etc. That was third season. Yeah. Like there was no other live action before that. Is that right?
No, there were in season 2. There was like little tiny pops of it throughout it. We did like a fake infomercial in episode 1. Season 1, and then season 2 there was some pops of it, and yeah, there was here and there. Season 2 had an entire Humans live action episode.
All right, I didn't see that.
But season 3, honestly, we thought I wasn't sure we were going to get a third season, and I remember we got picked up for it, and then Mike and I went to this bar right up the street from Starburns to celebrate, and we were just sitting there, and I told him, I was like, we're going to be in it. You and me are going to this could be our last shot at this, but I just really want to act more, and I think this could be super sick. And he just said yeah. So honestly, that's the impetus of that, is us just going, yeah, we're super funny. We really enjoyed making that live action Humans episode. So it was, and
does HBO? I mean, does HBO just say yes? Like what's the process there of, what kind of carte blanche do you have?
For our show, HBO was the best. We had a really great guy over there, Steve Baker, and just a really good set of executives. We weren't a super expensive show. We delivered on time. We never really went over budget for them. So we were a nice bunch of guys, and we would every season we would have a kickoff pitch, talk to them, and God, it was, looking back, it's so funny because I was probably just such a maniac, just because it was like the first time seeing a bunch of people and telling them these ideas that were just like insane. But it was, it really was like a quiet little art project that they funded and screened at 11:30 on Friday nights. So
What?
they were. I got very spoiled with that as my first
Yeah.
thing with basically no notes.
What is a can you share what does a show like that generally cost to make? I mean, there's and it's probably different from a Rick and Morty or a BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, I kind of don't even know, dude.
Okay.
Like that it's it's one of those things where I just if I started looking into that sort of stuff, we had a really great producer, Jen Roskin, who I just was. It was literally me, Mike, and Jen that kind of made the whole show,
Yeah.
and Duplass too. So I just let them figure out all that sort of shit, but not much.
That's
I'll
good.
say that.
Hey, you don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. worrying about hitting your budget. Somebody else can talk to you
Amen.
about it.
That's right.
So okay, so let's segue to Dumb and Dumber. Now, I said in the opening before we started talking, ironically, I came to Hollywood and started working at New Line the year that was in motion. So people at New Line were flipping out. I mean, that movie did almost $250 million, which is crazy. Where talk to me about like where were you? I always joke like where were you when JFK was shot? Where were you? What were you doing in your life when you saw this thing for the first time? How did it impact you? And then yeah, how does that impact your kind of trajectory, your sense of humor, and shows like Animals and other things that you're working on?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters with my family on a vacation in the Poconos of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So we were on a family vacation, and I remember really liking it. And I actually I say this in my thing, but I remember my parents saying that was dumb. And I remember thinking that was funny because it was like, what did you think?
Right.
Like the title of it is Dumb and Dumber.
It
and
delivered.
they came out like really not liking it. But so I was really little when I saw it in theaters, but the real coming back to it was that time period, late 90s, early 2000s, where a lot of these things were getting cult followings again and DVDs and all that sort of stuff. So when I was early high school, late middle school, me and my group of friends just really got obsessed over this movie. It was like our thing. We really cared about it. And it was that sort of thing where it was like the top line jokes like kind of weren't even a thing we would reference anymore. It was so funny watching it back, just the smaller little moments that I just can't not think of my friend Ryan always saying that. Like just things that kind of became part of our vernacular that are just weird throwaway things in the movie. And to the point where there's at one point when they're running out of Rhode Island, they pass a guy pissing on the wall. And that was like a big find for us. It was like we were finding different little quiet nuances in the movie. But I do think it really shaped, number one, it's so sweet, dude. It's like, it really is, especially thinking of that year where it was like Ace Ventura, which is like kind of harsh, kind of like and obviously has some troubles with its trans depictions and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
The Mask, a little bit too cartoony, but also has a weird grit to it. This movie is these two guys that are just really sweet to each other. And that's something that's a big, big part of Animals, is two best friends that are, basically have the same mindset as these guys and are just, has that inherent sweetness to it. Right. I don't really like mean comedy. I never really gravitated towards that. Superbad's also one of my favorite movies. I think that's got a lot of the same muscles as this, of just nice guys that are a nice buddy comedy. The guys are kind of intimate. And just, there's the scene in the Owl Gala in Dumb and Dumber where Lloyd sees Mary finally, and he's just straight up too nervous to go over there. Right. So he sends Harry over there. And it's like, that's seventh graders. That's probably why we liked it so much, because they were just depicting us, where they're fucking with each other, picking on each other, annoying each other. But when it comes down to it, when one of the dudes is really nervous to pick up this chick, his other friend goes over there. It's just beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
interesting. It's the different. It's character based comedy versus set piece based comedy. I think
Right.
that's the difference. I mean, where it comes from the characters and you know who they are and you know what they want. You can be as gross as you can still be a gross movie, but
Mhm.
there's more of a connection, I think, to that sweetness.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's wild watching both of their performances because and I said it in my thing, but I really do think this is one of Jim Carrey's best performances because he's got no Ace Ventura is a character. He's doing that character. The Mask is, one thing, and the rest of his au revoir is I think iterations of this. I
Yeah,
think this is him showing the world, look at me without anything. Sure, I have a chipped tooth, my haircut's funny, but for the most part, every single take he delivers in this is wholly um, him. It's wholly new,
yeah,
and you can really see a lot of people who are still doing him acting wise
right.
in films today. And conversely, I I joked in the commentary that when you're a kid you love Lloyd Christmas, but when you grow up you realize Harry's kind of the smoking gun of this movie. He's sort of the dark horse. Uh, Jeff is so incredible,
Yeah,
and it's not because you could tell he had a choice where he's not acting to be funny. He's letting Jim do that. He went more character,
yeah,
where he's like, okay, I'll be this guy Harry Dunn, who I think is sort of a just more. He's not as dumb as Lloyd. He's just a manic depressive, I think.
right.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
realizing that, like, he's got these weird outbursts throughout the movie, but he's kind of smarter than Lloyd, so I think he's almost the caretaker of Lloyd.
yeah. Well, and it's so amazing because you watch Jeff Daniels and things like The Newsroom. So
Mm-hmm.
much of his work is so grounded in reality. To see him, I mean, one of my favorite movies from when I was younger is Something Wild. I don't know if you ever saw that,
Yeah, briefly a
but I
while
mean,
ago.
it's amazing to see him invest in this role in the way that he does, and it's amazing to watch.
He's so good. I'm so glad he got it. I was just on the Wikipedia before this, but yeah, like nobody wanted him to be it, all that sort of stuff, but it just perfectly came together.
Is there
Love it.
one particular scene of the movie that is your all-time penultimate sequence from the movie?
It's I really think I can't not think about what's the most important moments for me now.
Yeah,
So I think it would be uh, what hits really hard is um, Lloyd is waiting for Mary in the bar, and the other woman is talking to him, um, and she's just droning on about her ex boyfriend and all this sort of stuff. And he picks his head up, and she goes, you know what he said to me? You know what that idiot said to me? He picks his head up and he goes, I don't care. And it's just a really beautiful delivery, but also something I feel so much in my life. But that's just a funny moment. But I think my new favorite moment is spoilery moment
yeah,
when Harry picks up Mary from her house in the Lambo and he pulls away, and then you see Lloyd sees this and he steps out from behind a bush. It's like this perfect unveiling of him behind a bush. The
yeah.
camera's kind of far away. Then it cuts in, and he's so upset that his friend betrayed him that he actually starts gagging. It's like, and it's a close up on Jim, and he's got watery eyes. He's acting incredibly.
Yeah.
He's got watery eyes, and he starts gagging. He's so let down by Harry. Oh, really beautiful.
I love my gosh. There's so many moments. To this day I still walk around in my life saying I like it a lot. I
I
like it a
like it
lot,
a lot.
a lot.
It's like, what is that? What is he even referencing?
I don't know, but man, it is an amazing movie. I listened to clearly. This is how the sausage is made. I listened to some of the commentary already, but I'm actually super excited to go back, watch it from the start, And here
It was so nice, man. It was really I hadn't, I would put it on like late at night and stuff, and ended up not finishing it for probably the past 3 or 4 times I've tried to watch it over the years. But even up until the last scenes, it's so funny. Like they're really smart jokes too. Like the Farley brothers fucking knocked it out of the park with that kind of small Zucker brothery turns of phrase and kind of puns, and like they really threw the comedy wise, it's the kitchen sink where it's graphic Jeff Daniels shitting his brains out at one point, but then there's all these smart punny turns.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what my favorite part is?
Yeah.
And I was laughing so fucking hard when I rewatched it. Remember, so after they get to Aspen, they're freezing. They're standing by a fire. Harry is at the end of his wits, and his hands are freezing. And he's like, my hands are freezing. And Jim goes, Lloyd Christmas goes, oh, take my mittens. I've got 2 on. And he unveils that he's had 2 pairs of gloves this whole time. And Harry freaks out. And they, our friends have their big breakup, basically. And Harry begins choking Lloyd Christmas. And Lloyd just goes, Harry, your hands are freezing. While he's choking him. Like, that is so funny to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Really, really, really.
It's such a funny movie. The only other outside of this movie, the only other Jim Carrey moment that I can remember literally not being able to breathe while I was watching, and I don't know if you saw. Did you see the second Ace Ventura?
Yeah, that was actually. It's funny. I saw that one way more than the first one.
There's one moment where he's spying on somebody from inside a rhino, and the fan breaks down. And the door is locked, and he can't get out. And first he starts by taking off all of his clothes because he's so hot, and then he's going to die. And he notices at the back of this thing that he's in that there's a little tiny hole of light, which is the anus of this faux rhino, and squeezes himself out of the elastic opening while a family is driving by on a safari. Do you know this moment? And they watch as a sweaty Jim Carrey is birthed out of the back of this rhino onto the ground. It's the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
Plops onto the ground.
It's hilarious.
I was just referencing that recently because I'm in my office right now, and I don't know why, but for 2 days my ceiling fan didn't work. So I kept saying, it's like, I'm basically in the rhino in the. That's funny.
Well, look, I appreciate you taking the time not only to talk about animals, which if folks haven't seen, you can watch it it's on all seasons on HBO Max right now, yes?
Yeah, HBO Max, any HBO thingy, I'm pretty sure we're on.
Yeah. It's such a fun show, and the sense of humor is so out there. If folks haven't seen it, you got to watch it, all 3 seasons. And then Dumb and Dumber, I appreciate you taking the time to do the commentary. We're going to segue from here. People are going to queue up that movie and enjoy an hour and 30 minutes of Phil Matarese.
Matarese, we got it.
Matarese. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot, Phil.
All right, buddy. See ya.
All right, take care.
Okay, it is now playing. I'm at 17 seconds in. The Miramax logo is coming. You hear that? That's where we should be at together in this. New Line Cinema. Looking at New Line Cinema. I'm so anxious that people aren't going to have a good time listening to me watch the seminal hit film Dumb and Dumber. Okay? This movie is so important to me for a myriad of reasons. First of all, Jim Carrey, super important dude to me growing up. As is anybody who was born around the same time. How can I get to the medical school? I'm doing a lecture in about 20 minutes. She's got an Austrian accent. Anyway, this movie is incredibly important to me. I was 1994. I was 5 when it came out, and my parents brought me to a screening of it. A screening that we saw it in the fucking movies. when we were in the Poconos on a ski trip. So I guess it came out in the winter of 1994. And I always loved this statistic, but Carrie came out with 1994 was Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, and motherfucking The Mask. All those movies are 1994. I'm almost positive of this. You know why? Because I did an episode of this on my hit TV show Animals on HBO, where we dissected Jim Carrey's entire career. So anyway, Carrey's a huge deal for basically anyone that was alive in the 90s and liked to laugh. But I think as you get older, you realize that in a lot of ways, Daniels might be funnier. And the incredible feat to be playing not a straight man at all, but rather a sort of foible to Jim Carrey at peak Jim Carrey is almost in and of itself and even more amazing than Jim Carrey. So anyway, that's my long way of saying when you're a kid, you're a Lloyd Christmas fan. And when you're adult, you start to really realize that, you know what, maybe Harry Dunn's where it's at. This scene always makes me want to have a hot dog so bad. Who's got the foot long? And it's the little guy. Unbelievable. Before I became a struggling animator who's slowly running out of money during a global pandemic, how did they film that with the dogs, by the way? Them getting scooched around. It must be a car going around corners, right? How else would you be able to throw them around like that? I don't know. Very interesting to think about. Anyway, sucked me sideways. Incredible. Before I was making cartoons and stuff, I was in advertising, and one of our clients was the Snuggle Bear. So I, for an entire month, drove around Europe in a fur-covered van that was made to look like the Snuggle Bear, and it was the Dumb and Dumber van, basically, and I was the Snuggle Bear. How good is that, him grabbing his heart? He loves her so much, he grabs his fucking heart. That's so sweet. And I'll touch upon a lot of these moments as we come across them, but Dumb and Dumber is an incredibly sweet movie. The spray, missing his mouth, gorgeous. This time era of movies has a lot of bite to it. And even a couple of the other movies I listed, Ace Ventura particularly, has not aged well for a myriad of reasons. But I would say in this movie, as just far as shit aging of sexism and of female characters and empowerment, and I don't know, I doubt it passes the Bechdel test, to be honest with you. But I think Dumb and Dumber has a lot of heart to it, which is why it's always spoken to me. Anyway, I drove around Europe in a fur-covered van, and I was the Snuggle Bear. So I wore this Snuggle Bear costume in Paris, in Amsterdam, in Berlin, in fucking Turkey, in Spain, and I would hug people. That was the campaign. It was a Facebook campaign for Snuggle, and I went around various markets, just checking my sound, so if I lose interest. Various markets, hugging people. Pretty crazy, huh? How did they film this? Her screen looks pretty bad, but his front green screen there, I guess he could be on a... That was kind of amazing. I almost paused it and went back. Iconic. But yeah, it was an incredible stunt. This right here, shoof, goo-goof. Gorgeous jumps, gorgeous ups. I was a mascot where I was basically in a fur-covered suit for an entire month driving around Europe in the summer, and I couldn't take my head off for hours at a time. And I would be how good is this woman, by the way? I love that the Farley brothers brought her back for Kingpin. She's super funny, classic 90s character actress. On second thought, might just want to run a comb through them. Incredible. I'm going to try to not just quietly watch the movie and offer... I want this to stand alone as a podcast in and of itself. I wonder how this movie came about to be the Dumb and Dumber of it all. Who were the Farley brothers before this that they were able to get Jim Carrey at this time? Because I read somewhere at one point that Jim Carrey got like it kept going up. Like at first it was like $1 million, and then one of those three movies, Ace Ventura or The Mask, was number one in box office, and every week it was in box office number one. They would give him $1 million more bucks, and Jeff Daniels got like 1/10 or probably 100 of what Jim Carrey got, but he wanted to be it so bad because he was a dramatic actor at the time and really wanted to branch out into other things. So he took a big pay cut. I kind of fucking hate that. Like there was that thing not too long ago where everyone was like, Jonah Hill took scale to be in Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, no fucking doy. That's insane. Who cares? Oh, you took scale to be in a Martin Scorsese movie? Also, I love that Marty fucking lowballed him. Ugh. And we're all supposed to clap. We're all supposed to go, what a hero. He got he got 4 teacher salaries to be starring alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and change his career for the better. I always loved the airbag. Like when he bites it looks so good to bite. It looks like a comfortable thing to bite. He bites it. I'm sorry for screaming into the microphone on that, but just see the thing about Dumb and Dumber is, and I watched it, me and my friends would watch it so many times as kids that you unpeel the surface jokes to uncover new things within the scenes. It's like, I remember when Eminem first started rapping, everyone was like, he doesn't just rap the first and last lines. It was like 6 rhymes within each line. That's what Dumb and Dumber is, but in a comedy of just hilarious physical things or small nods or small puns. I'm a limo driver. The score fucking slaps. This is a kid's movie. I do remember seeing it. Okay, so I saw it with my parents when it was 1994. I was 5 years old. The slam. The guy peeing in the background. Wait for it. Oh, wait, no. It might be when they leave. Like, that's the level of minute detail we got to with watching this movie. Where it was, Pat's brother Nick actually noticed that a guy is peeing in the background in this one scene. And that's a new joke. That's another joke. How fucking good is this guy? She's a pretty terrible actress. She's a horrible actress. I hate to say it, but maybe she's supposed to be bad. Did she die? The first scene, our boys are together. I wonder, I would love to read a book on this movie. You are a pathetic loser. Like, I'm just sitting here going like, God, was this like early in the shoot? Them just vibing out each other? It warms my heart. Hi, Petey. He set up Petey. You know? It's perfect. This is a perfect movie. I hope you guys like my voice. I always think about that. That's enough to set off Harry. She actually talked to me. Oh man, my God. The amount of times I've said tractor beam. Tractor beam. Carrie. Like, did they say make a tractor beam noise? Or did he just throw that in there? Singular talent. A singular once in a generation person who probably deserves everything he has. The Andy Kaufman documentary thing sort of chaffed my ass a little bit. Just seeing him sort of be a brat. This must have been for them. Do you realize what you've done? I love that he says, okay. That's the friendship they have. I say we bet. Guy peeing. That's what I was talking about. Fucking. That's the. And it just says so much. This idea of. I said we bail. And he just looks at him. He says, okay. And they bail on their house? I guess it's not forever, though. But still. That's how you know we got a good movie started. And just the scene of the two of them talking to each other and really setting up the world and what they're going to be doing for the rest of it is perfect. I'm sorry for yelling. I'm just excited. I didn't know that was a joke, the 40 hours a week when I was a kid. I was like, yeah. I remember being a kid and going, yeah, that does sound like a lot. I would not want to work 40 hours a week. Also, I love this. I love all the toys he got. Rhode Island Slut. How good of a t-shirt would that be? Rhode Island Slut. Perfect. I fucking love Coors Light so much. I really do. It's my favorite beer. I've been drinking. Look at the... Oh, perfect. Ripes! What is cripes? You know, like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Perfect art direction in this movie. Excuse me, old lady? Look at his big hat. Are you kidding me? So famously, Jim Carrey had a chipped tooth and re-chipped it for this role. So that is a real, I love this. Look at the moves. Oh, he's so balletic. He's so physical. I know that's a Obviously, Jim Carrey is a physical guy, but even that is so ingrained in my head. Him collapsing to his knees like that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, chipped his tooth. I also famously chipped my tooth when I was 8 or 9 years old. I had the same exact chipped tooth as Jim Carrey. Look at his shoes. His head fell off. Our pets' heads are falling off. That's it. Our pets' heads are falling off. My hair, for a while, I had blonde hair. And I looked exactly like Harry anytime I washed my hair. Why is that funny, the salmon of Capistrano? I'm not a smart guy. I'm just a guy. I don't know, the French are assholes. Yeah, so, yeah. Can you believe? I'm sorry. I know I sound like a broken record on this, but sorry, I want to go somewhere where I know somebody who can plug us into the social pipeline, and it's so funny. He just delivers it beautifully and perfectly. And I think by now, if you're actually listening to this, you realize that I do not give a shit about movies. I care about things that are funny. I don't know much about shots. I don't know much about angles. I've directed some stuff too, for sure. But for the most part, I'm just here to laugh, fucker. I'm here to have a good time. Get my kicks in before I kick the dirt. Here's a really nice part is Lloyd really sobbing, and then you see Harry give him the good go, like, all right, get off me, you know? The power is constantly flipping between the two of them. And we're off. The movie, obviously, we're entering the second act. Again, I don't give a shit or a flying fuck about structure. Structure can suck my balls. I'm saying that this movie has 3 distinct parts that I really like. No, but I do think it's a beautiful... When you look back at it, you think of it as a road movie. But we're really about halfway through it by the time they get to Aspen, spoiler alert. No, the halfway mark's probably where they get in a fight over the van, and I guess the third act is mostly Aspen. But how much fun is Aspen? I don't know what I was getting at. I just love... Oh my God, these snacks look so good in this movie. All the snacks. Hot dog earlier, snacks here. Boy. The burger he eats with the pills in it. Billy and Forsyth. He laughs at Billy the blind kid. Incredible. So, what was I saying? Oh, the structure of this movie. The fact that it's able to be a road movie. God, it's my favorite format. It's funny, first and foremost. Iconic set pieces. And adventure. I don't know. I got distracted. I get distracted by watching the movie. I heard this kid comes back. And also, by the way, we're not talking about... There's no other... It's cool. This movie's cool because I love this art direction on this. The little smiley face. And like... I don't know if this is politically correct, but the girly handwriting. It's like... It's so fucking funny. I would pay $5,000 for that note. Like the actual note. Get it framed, put it in my house. I would pay $5,000 for that. Does he crumple it up? I would pay for it crumpled up. I should check. I just noticed that guy looking at the fucking van for the first time ever. God. I never understood that excuse me flow. I still kind of don't. I guess it was an old cartoon flow. Not cartoon, TV show flow. I'm sorry I was born in 1989, motherfucker. Look at that mouth. Look how much fun they're having. I like it a lot. What is that? Is that referencing something else? I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like that they both have pervert jackets. Like those are jackets of perverts. That sounds like a Native American name. My name is Pervert Jacket. Jacket of Pervert. They look young. Maybe it's because I'm used to... Oh, God, Seabass. Kick his ass, Seabass. Lloyd selling him out. That is... I'm so happy you're getting my genuine laugh. It crossed my mind to eat that. It was gross. Love that song. Also, the soundtrack to this movie is fucking slapper doodle. You totally wimped out. The physicality of the facial expressions in this movie is Jim Carrey's best. Jim Carrey is at his peak in this movie. This is the best Jim Carrey movie. This is the best Jim Carrey performance. Period. I don't care about the mask sucks. Fuck the mask. Ace Ventura, honestly, fucking too much. This is perfect. Dumb and Dumber is not only the perfect comedy, it's the perfect movie. What is a Boilermaker? I want one. Look at all these extras. Of course you're angry. A family guide to dealing with something. Seabass said that 4 words. So she's an unpaid extra. Didn't have to... Whatever. SAG. Isn't it 5 words? Hey! She got the speaking extra. Nice. Uh-oh. Nicely done, boys. Also, you wouldn't get that far. Sorry, I'm just watching this. He was a good one. So the next question I have is, why does he have beer bottles in the car? Because if I deduce right now that Harry Dunn drinks and drives, that's really going to hurt my feelings, because I really don't like that people do that. I don't like when people do that. Watch your seat. My friend Jeremy, one time I keep wanting to say geometry class, but I know that doesn't exist. But it was like geometry. It was like a math that is like fucking, I don't know. Anyway, me and Jeremy basically always fucked around in this class, and actually really brought us closer together as friends. So we, one day we were bored, and Jeremy started telling me Dumb and Dumber. So he literally, we didn't know the direction and stuff, but it was like, okay, we open on Hope Street sign, a limo pulls up, a pretty girl stops in front of a pretty girl, window rolls down. Excuse me, you know where to get to the medical school? I'm giving a talk in 20 minutes. And I swear to God that Jeremy spoke to me the entire movie. It was like listening to an audiobook. It was one of the most amazing feats I've ever heard and seen. And it was one of the most enjoyable geometry classes I've ever been in my life. Another time in geometry class, Jeremy, we were playing Hangman, me and Jeremy. I don't know a lot of geometry, to be honest with you, as you can tell. I whiffed that. But another time in geometry class, Jeremy and I were playing Hangman, and he correctly guessed on a blank slate Abraham Lincoln. He just looked at the amount of letters. He knew it was a person, and he said, Abraham Lincoln. I like that they peeled the bottle because of the labels. I wish I had a fucking Juul. I'm addicted to Juuls now. Whatever. Who cares? The world's ending. Of course I'm going to light my way out of it. I have one in my trash can. Should I try to hit it? I'll be right back. I'm hungry. Anyway, they start driving. Get the hell out of here. They're about to pick up the guy. It's not it wasn't in my trash can. Listener at home. This is all confusing. You know what? I'm just realizing that I don't know this storyline. That's how little I care about stuff that's not funny. That backdrop is super fake with my eyes that I see now. Like, I know he's a bad guy, marries old whatever, fling. Someone is kidnapped, or they're paying off someone, but then the FBI gets involved. It's a whole thing. So this movie's like fantastical nature. These sorts of moments. By the way, being a kid, seeing this glimpse of a butt, I don't know. Do I need to fill in the blank? Huge bone zone. Super, you barely get any skin when you're a kid. So this one is, that's a big one. That bottom crescent of a tush. She's got a nice tush. Gotta be honest with you. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. And this looks so much fun. This is what I thought being an adult would be like. And now I am an adult, and it's nothing like that. But again, the world isn't anything like it was supposed to be. Or was in the 90s, I should say. The world is shit. I don't believe that. I don't believe the world is shit. I have a good time in my life, in my world. These extras are incredible, though. I love that. It's, I don't know. These small little moments, the extras are perfect at laughing bad. This guy is perfectly fucking weird looking, the chef. How are we at? I am at 32:53 in the movie. I realize I should have said something at the same time. This guy's badass. So, I guess I should... Yeah, I was 5 when this came out. I famously saw it in theaters with my family. I remember my parents saying it was dumb, which is funny because it's Dumb and Dumber, but I remember them not liking it. And then my friends and I really got into it in like the rise of DVDs. So 99 to 2003, we were obsessed with this movie. And also, it was around the time that like Hot Topic would have Dumb and Dumber t-shirts in it. So I'm trying to wonder, like, the whole, I don't know, ecosystem of movies and legacy movies and comedies and all that sort of stuff. Why would Hot Topic be suddenly selling a Dumb and Dumber movie when they didn't, a few years before that? This was always kind of hot to me as a kid too. Anytime anyone kisses anyone, I hate it in a movie. It makes me sick. But something about this, I don't know. They started dating too. Isn't that right? After this, they were a couple. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but Jim Carrey seems to have had a tumultuous... How crazy is it we were just in a dream for that entire time? Love it. Anyway, just thinking about the context of the movie and it's coming back. And then when I was in 8th grade, never mind, I'm not going to bring it up. There's a deleted scene from the honeymoon suite that is very funny and weird and like kind of like they're going to fuck each other or something. Yeah. How long did they know each other, I wonder? What's a John Deere letter mean? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I realized Daniels... The other guy is Lloyd. I realized Jeff Daniels is simply playing a character. And I mean that by he's not trying to be funny. He's playing Harry Dunn, and he's playing him very well, and that was the right move. Like, I really think you could see Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey. He's not, what is Lloyd Christmas? He's not really anything. He's an amalgamation of different moves and facial expressions and all that sort of stuff. Harry Dunn, to me, is clearer in my mind of who he is. He's kind of a manic depressive idiot. I almost like it. I love that line. Ooh, you got me mad. I almost like it. Everyone. This guy. Incredible. Is his name Mental in this? Or did he just call him Mental? I want that drink. It looks good. What else should we talk about? Let's talk about me and my life. I'm trying to write a movie that's basically Dumb and Dumber. Me and Mike, who I make animals with, are trying to write a movie that is quite similar, to be honest with you, but not this. Just the beats of it I really like. I like a small journey movie. I like something that is fucking comedy focused, first and foremost. And kind of grounded. This is the end of her. She doesn't come back after this, right? It's interesting they don't recognize him even though they saw him through the peephole. Ooh, I may have found a plot hole in my favorite movie ever. He should have had a mask on when they were looking through the peephole. I just drove across America about a week ago. And 2 weeks ago now, actually. But, of course, I thought about Dumb and Dumber basically the whole time. My buddy was moving from New Jersey to Los Angeles. And it's kind of a lot of this. Dicking around, listening to music, sort of talking to each other. But I also realized the trick to a long drive with someone is you both really have to temper your humanity. Like, you can't just be doing bits for hours and hours and hours. You have to really get comfortable with being slow, being yourself at 50%, at 25%, and taking comfort in being in someone's near silent company for a long time. One thing we did that I really recommend that was just so nice is we listened to CDs only on the whole ride there. My friend, because he was moving, he brought all his shit with him. So it was fucking boxes and boxes of CDs. And and so every morning when we would kick off a new leg, we would pick out basically, I don't know, 10 or 12 CDs that we were going to listen to on the way there. And it was great. Because you sit down, you listen to it front to back. God damn, we listened to some shit. Some shit that we thought that we both liked when we were in, high school and middle school. Because we've known each other forever. And then some fucking, this one, The Cure album where, it must have been when MIDI had just came out, when MIDI instruments had just came out, and they the whole thing was fucking MIDI instruments, and it sounded like shit. Dog shit. I can't handle spice. Honestly though, how fucking good would this restaurant be? Also, is that sea bass in the background? That was sea bass in the background. Is that an Easter egg? Did I just find a fucking Easter egg in this movie? That guy, if you scroll back to 4152, sorry, I was looking at 4152 is where we're at right now. If you scroll back, I should write that down actually, 4152. You can see Seabass sitting there, and his back is to them. That's funny. They keep crossing paths with each other. They hinted at him being in the world. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for Seabass for the rest. This movie is genius and perfect. Perfectly art directed. Perfectly written. Perfectly. No one on this podcast that you're listening to right now has a better movie than me. I picked the best movie. I picked the best comedy. I picked the best. Oh my God, they're pranking him. How good does this look? The burger, the bun. I'm gonna come. Why don't you eat up and we'll tell you? I'm so hungry right now watching this too. I could pop. Some lady left it at the airport. That's me taking a sniff of a Sharpie marker. Sometimes I like to do that. I'll do it absent-mindedly sitting at my desk whilst on a Zoom. So I've been on so many Zooms lately that I forget that people can see me because it's, you seamlessly go from being alone in the same exact chair to being in front of 7 people in front of your chair, that I'll open up a Sharpie and I'll just sniff it on the Zoom. And then I got to go, yeah, sometimes I do that just because it smells good. And they think, he's a huffer. This boy's a huffer. There goes, Mental, or whatever his name is. Great pratfall. Oh, nope. I see the guy, and it's not Seabass. Sorry. How about these fucking moves? He spits out his food. Oh, Maron. He wants it. Pills are good. Pills are good. You want some ketchup or mustard? That helped us. That's a beautiful shot. That's the only shot I'll talk about in this fucking movie. Because again, who gives a shit about your fucking dumb little shots? Can you imagine being one of those guys that cares about shots? Cares about framing? Cares about the one take? That's not what a movie is. A movie is Dumb and Dumber. A movie is these guys gently guiding you on this journey. You shouldn't be watching the fucking shots. You shouldn't even know it's a shot. Shot. Sheepdog. Just pop my shirt off for those watching. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then they change their car, getting away with the crime. I gotta admit something. I really wish the guy in Dante's Inferno, the previous scene where they gave the guy the spicy cheeseburger, was... what's his name? Seabass. I wish it was him. Even this physicality feels like Harry Dunn. How good is that? How good is that prop? How good is this fit? Look at that fit. Skis, huh? They're yours, both of them? As you grow older, you start to fall in love with all different sorts of characters. She's beautiful. Look at his hair. How cute is that? He's sleepy. He was just sleeping. Also, sick watch. Guess whose it is, motherfucker. Wardrobe fucked up. And I'm stuck on the other guy that was in Dante's Inferno that looks like Carrie. That looked like Seabass, but wasn't Seabass. Pisses me off that it wasn't Seabass, to be honest with you. I hope you guys enjoy the helicopter that's above my house. Welcome to Los Angeles, California. Echo Park. Not going to give you anything closer than that to my address, but ardent fans can figure it out. I don't remember that joke. Here, it's a little loose. I love when people smoke in movies. There should be more of it. We should bring smoking back. We should maybe have a hot chocolate or something. I like Harry because he's mean. I think Harry's funny because he's very sweet, but he's mean and dark. For Christ's sakes, lady, just give me the number. Love the graffiti in this. One of the third episode of Animals, our first episode with a big crew of people, there was a lot of bathroom scenes, and I loved making the graffiti. And I actually made a lot of it secret Illuminati references, because I thought I thought Animals on HBO was gonna be humongous, and I thought this will be my ticket into, this is true, I thought this will be my ticket into the Illuminati, and I'm stoked for them to reach out to me. I just was like kind of playing with fire. I was like, I really want to see if they fucking catch on to this stuff, and if this stuff is real. Turns out it... Look, I told you. Hey guys, big gulps, huh? All right. See? Well, see you later. What's he drinking? Beer? Look how good those snacks look. That was my favorite part of driving across America, is all of the snacks. Snacks are perfect. Snacks are my favorite meal. Okay? Let me tell you something, fucker. There's nothing better in this world than chips. Specifically, Doritos chips. They are delicious. They are not nutritious, but they'll fill you up. I love that he wants to wake him up, so he throws a cup at him. That's so funny. Hey. They're dogs. That John Denver's full of shit. They're both dogs. Harry and Lloyd. I bet you they talked about that. I bet you they said, physically we should be dogs. Look, okay, first of all, beautiful shot. Second of all, beautiful shot. That is the last time I'll say this is a beautiful shot for the film Dumb and Dumber. Was Dumb and Dumber a hit? I thought out loud. Also, Harry's kind of smart. You got us a sixth of the way across the country. Let me check the time on this. 53, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 53, 32. $53, 32. I'm just going to copy these and keep texting them to myself so I can give you a timestamp. Beautiful shot. Another beautiful shot. Crash test dummies. And then we switch it up to the scooter. What other road movie switches the vehicle, arguably the third character, halfway through the movie? None. That is why this is the perfect movie. And his little shake here. Oh, sorry, here. He's not that good at riding it. Is it because we're in an exterior that the film actually looks different, or is it like a different film all of a sudden? It looks grainier. There's more noise. Maybe because we're on so many sets and it's so many interior car shots. Jeff looks like a cool hipster guy right now. He looks like a guy I would see as Zebulon that would be scary. That would be like a funny skateboard guy. He's the guy that does fucking mostly skateboards but works for Huff and is like funny. And is intense. And like huffs Sharpie markers like me. They're having fun. The boys are back in town. I like how cute Lloyd is. You know? Just go, man. I remember one time me and Ryan were on his moped and we were really high trying to get up a hill, and we had to do that. So I was on the back of it, on the back of Ryan's moped, and we all got mopeds in my town because of this movie. And we had to do like a forward toboggan shake. It was so funny. I wonder if Aspen is a fun place to go to, or if it's just going to be so bougie that I'm going to be upset the whole time. Like, I've been to Jackson Hole. That was pretty cute. But also the whole time you're there, you're like, all right. It's like I came all the way out here for a fucking 4 of the same tourist shops. I guess there was elk and stuff, which was cool. We're there. How did he do this? How did... To the past back there. How did Jim Carrey stand up so easily with Jeff Daniels' full weight on his back? Did you see that? Him getting up off the bike? Nice. See, that's a fine joke. And then, dude, okay, again, I know I'm in the middle of Dumb and Dumber and all I'm doing is talking about how great... Okay, first of all, Swimmy, Samsonite, it's right here on the briefcase. One of the greatest plot turn, I don't know, jokes of all time. Slippy's. How great is it that now the movie becomes this great fucking wish fulfillment of them, the 2 dumbest guys on earth, getting unlimited money. What do they spend it on? Ridiculous suits, funny outfits. It's just, this movie is perfect. And I'm sorry I'm not as eloquent as I could be or should be, but beautiful. The extra gloves always makes me laugh. What can I say? Yeah, Harry, we're in the Rockies. Like, this is a character. I can't keep it. I know I'm a broken record, but Jeff D. I know what I'm gonna do. Oh, the greatest joke of all time is about to come up. And I'll tell you. Harry, your hands are freezing. After he the whole fight is about him having 2 pairs of gloves. And all Lloyd has to say while he's getting choked is, Harry, your hands are freezing. That is so funny to me. That should be so funny to anybody. Our word is our bond. And it's just so comfy. Like, I think a good thing in a movie is, you know, that sort of thing where you want to make it a place you want to go to and a thing you want to do. Like, a TV show should have like a... Look at... He just clipped the lamp and that's it. One take, Jake clipped the lamp with his little foot. Anyway. These fucking extras. Beautiful. I hope the Farley brothers are happy. What are they doing? Oh my God, they fucking did Green Book, right? What a fucking bunch of sellouts. What a fucking bullshit move. I mean, do whatever you gotta do, but I don't know. I guess their comedy career got... What did Green Book win? Best screenplay? It's fucking ridiculous. That pisses me off. Because all I care about is funny. I didn't see Green Book. I know it's mired in this white savior weird kind of thing that it, was a little bit revisionisty or whatever. But I don't know. Fuck off. Something about it bugs me. Who? The whole movie. City's elite expected. Love this part. It's a big one. Like, Harry's kind of smart. I love that since he's reading, he's kind of smart. Aww. Montage, baby. Let's go to the montage, huh? Fuck off. He's reading Tiger Beat. He's reading Sassy. Couple hairdressers. 90s hotties. Stan it. We stan it. Gross. Harry loves it. Even this misdirect. He's not asking her for a handy. He just wanted to give her a little back rub too. Pretty woman. Yes. Yes. I guess Harry's the leader. You know what I mean? Because it was kind of up to him what Lloyd wore. It's funny the things you pick up on. Harry is the leader. He's like the older brother. I think Lloyd cries more and is more of like a... And they bring back the fucking spray into his face. Hey, she's back. What's her name? Good old bad actress. That biz. And if she is your mom or aunt or wife or close friend, I'm sorry, okay? I'm just, I don't know, calling it as I sees it. Look at the fun bags on that hose hound. What a perfect time to say calls it as I sees it. See, I didn't get that reference, but I guess it's a reference to Silence of the Lambs when I was a kid. And I'll tell you something. You go to prom, you go to your wedding, what have you, with these fucking orange and blue suits. Don't do it. All right? It's offensive to me. Because the movie's perfect, you're not perfect, and you're not funny. Nobody's funny. Okay? You're like you're a cool guy wearing a fucking funny thing to your wedding. Be at your wedding if you're going to be at your wedding. Show up. Don't wear sneakers with your suit. These are so fake. I guess because they got to kill him shortly. Spoiler, sorry. The art direction in this movie is perfect. This, a fancy event, just all the wood of Aspen and stuff, and I don't know, even the shaggin' wagon, like it's perfect. Little car. Shay's a cutie. Sorry if it's your wife. I think your wife's a cutie. Would I do anything to bone her? I just got that old-fashioned romantic feeling where I'll do anything to bone her. That's so funny. Daniels looks so young in this. It's so sweet. And also, here's what I'm talking about what a sweet movie this is. It's just a boy who's scared of a girl and he needs a rapist wit, okay? It's a boy who's scared of a girl and he wants his boy's help to talk to the girl. It's just the game of like, Lloyd likes you. Maybe that's why it resonated so much in 7th, 8th grade. Aside from the humor and the brain of a 7th, 8th grader, it is their 7th, 8th graders. He's obsessed with this girl and he needs his friend to talk to her. So funny. Mary, not in much else outside of this. Iconic, though. Mike and I wrote something where there was a parrot named Parrot Keith. So technically, Parrot Keith. Parrot Keith. Parrot Keith. Mostly just doggy style, great joke. Jeff's bust out here in his little wave. We love a drunk rich mom. One time I was at a really wealthy party and I was there to try to get some sponsorship for Animals on HBO. And I finally met the woman whose party it was that we were trying to get to do some sponsored content on my show. And she was really mean to me. Not really mean. It just went exactly as you thought it would go. The rich can smell it on me that I'm not one of them. And that's fine. Because when the upcoming war comes, they won't be able, the fighters won't be able to smell that I'm one of them. I'm normal. Motherfucker. It's hot in my house. I turned off my fan. Maybe I could turn it on. Look at his little dance. You're going to be my best man here. Incredible. Sorry for the lull. I was just actually watching the movie for a bit. It's perfect. I know I keep saying that. What else am I going to fucking talk about? It's hard to do this. I'm trying to write some movies. I am writing movies. Hopefully closing a deal on one. Right now it is August 25th. And I am hoping to sell a bunch of stuff by the end of the year 2020. I am tired of developing things. I've been in development hell for a while. I am very close to closing on a bunch of shit. TV shows, movies, etc. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not saying this to even fill you in. I'm saying this to put it out into the universe so I can catch a fucking break. I had a show on the air 2 years ago. I know if there's anybody who's a buyer or a seller, they ain't listening right now. So I can be frank with my guys. The real Phil heads out there that are sticking it out. I can be frank with you. I want to catch a fucking break. All right? I'm unhappy. I need money, to be honest with you. I don't have any money anymore. I had a cascading fuck fall of shitness happen to me over the past couple years. And well, sometimes you just get drained out. Both. Emotionally, physically, financially. And you start to go, well, I'm basically back at square one. That's okay. I'm not mad at that. But it's just funny. It's just a little funny to me is all. Oh, all that shit. All my success is gone. I got nothing. Nothing to show for it. Nothing to do. Just nothing but time on my hands. And hope for the best. I got nothing but time on my hands and hoping for the best. You know, girls. Look at his fit. I was at a restaurant and they gave me some drinks on them not too long ago, which I always appreciate. Did she order a glass of wine? How did she get the glass of wine? I don't care. I love that line. Because my goodness gracious, who has not wanted to say that to someone? I don't care. It's a beautiful sentiment. I should clip that. I'm going to clip that after this. That hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen in case you're confused as to what I'm talking about. I'm at a minute 17, 1 hour 17, 14, 15, 16, 17. Ugh. How'd they film that? Good looking prosthetic tongue. I love when he gets into a fight with her. Genius. See, he's dark. Okay, it's interesting they cut that wide shot because he really was clobbering her with it. The thing is with a movie this perfect that you love is never watch B-roll. Never watch deleted scenes. Never watch, I don't know, just like alternate cuts or bloopers or whatever. When something is that important to you, you gotta just let it be. I feel the same way about Drake. I don't watch any Drake interviews. I don't watch any Drake music videos, really. I love his little hands up there. So cute, so funny. Here it is. I don't care. I don't watch any Drake interviews because I don't want to know him. I love him so much. I don't want it to be, this thing where it's like suddenly he's talking and I disagree with something he says, or he says something annoying, or he kind of comes off as a brat. Like he's got a music video in his big fancy house. I don't want to see his big fancy house. I want his beautiful sexy songs. I want Drake's beautiful sexy songs. I don't want his big house, motherfucker. No way. My favorite part of the movie is coming up right here. It's my new favorite part of the movie. If you ask me when I was younger, I don't know. Probably something in the apartment scene early on. But my favorite moment is about to come up in the film, and my favorite movie is about to Dumb and Dumber. I'm losing steam. We got 25 minutes. We could barrel on through. A lot of incredible. They don't write jokes like this anymore in these sorts of movies. It's like that Zucker Brothers, I don't know, just like genius, witty, punny, but not like groany, punny gags. Look at him coming out. Right here. It's my favorite moment. He's so heartbroken. He's so heartbroken that he gags. He's gonna barf. He can't. Lloyd Christmas is so heartbroken, he gags. And now the power dynamic shifts, doesn't it? I actually just got off a call with my friend and it was very similar to this. Angry at girls. Boys are always angry at girls. I should have put my phone here the whole time, under the microphone. That way you could have gotten both. Well, whatever. Listen, if you're gonna fucking listen to this all the way through, you're gonna take the audio that you get. Got it, buddy. Let me check how it sounds on the mic. I'm so nervous. Yeah. All right, we sound good. You know what's so funny is when I saw Dumb and Dumber, it was very similar to Aspen, Poconos, Poconos, Pennsylvania, a New Jersey getaway. And it's a very Poconosy kind of movie. Wild stuff. Wow. Wow, Phil. That's pretty wild. Oh, Harry, old buddy, old pal. Classic. I heard something about this movie from a friend that Jeff Daniels doesn't like how many people bring up the poop scene in this movie. Like, he's really embarrassed about the poop scene in this movie. Which I thought which made me sad. And again, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes something is so beautiful and so perfect, you don't want to hear about the lore of it. You don't want to hear about the behind the scenes of it. You know? You just want it to be its thing. Exist. There has been a weird uptick of behind the scenes things. Like, we know every showrunner of every show, for the most part, they're vocal. I guess because we all have Twitter and platforms now and shit. But just this idea of, like, I don't know, what do I give a shit who makes the thing? I want to enjoy the thing. Says me. Like I've ever done a podcast in my fucking life. Swanson's hot. Look at that jacket. Damn, dude. I'm hanging out with a friend later. I'm tired, though. I'll go and have fun. We're just going to shoot the shit, watch some TV shows. What'd you do today, friend? And I'll leave it blank so you can answer me. What did you do today, friend? That's cool. Ah, fun. These little tidy whities. It does almost... I do have to admit, I wish this wasn't in this movie. Look at his shoes. Gorgeous. You know? If my one note of the perfect film, Dumb and Dumber, is that we cut... I do love the... I do love the poop at the end of that, but you know, it's just like we were so close. We were so close to having a something you could really, really stand behind and not be embarrassed about any second of. Oh. Look at her hair. Is that real? red of hair. 1994. What was that like, I wonder? You know? I mean, I was alive, but I was 5 and I was in the Poconos with my parents. Cute as a button. Cute as a fucking button. It's just funny, I guess. Was Coke big in the 90s? Cocaine? Hollywood people? I bet you... Well, I guess ecstasy was coming out, but were like normal people doing ecstasy? I think Coke was on a downswing in the 90s, I would imagine. I forgot about this. Oh, I love that she remembered, actually. This is perfect, this movie. Oh boy, it's perfect. Oh my god. I don't know, it's just... How quickly it's about to wrap up, too. I don't know. Makes me fucking laugh. I just heard my neighbor go, "Hi!" Did you guys pick that up? Motherfucker? Look how happy... Oh... I have another favorite part in the movie that's coming up. Boom! Oh... His trip right there wasn't my favorite part, but was really, really, really funny. When Lloyd Christmas... Ugh, that's my whole philosophy. It's so interesting how many actors do Jim Carrey. Like him just delivering that one line. He that's why this is the best. Because there's no mask. There's no real big character. It's just him doing him and acting fucking to... I don't know. The top of his fucking range. That's why it's so underrated. I would say that Dumb and Dumber is underrated. I know it's a hit. But the acting in it is incredible. I'm an idiot. I'm just realizing this is why I don't talk or do a podcast or anything like that. I'm a fucking idiot. I have low self-worth, I think. But hey, what are you going to do? But that's good. I think it's good to have a little bit of low self-worth. That makes you work harder, you know? If I really fucking thought I was the shit, you think I would be out here cranking? About to pitch 4 motherfucking TV shows? About to pitch 2 fucking movies? Bunch of motherfuckers? God, I hope something goes. I really need money. I really need... If you're listening to this, just hit me up on Twitter at Phil, Philor, Philip. And kick me some flow. Because I am dry as a bone. I need money. A commentary to a movie I didn't make is very funny. Because all I can do is either say, look how funny this is. I like it a lot. Like, is that a reference to something? Him doing that voice? I like it a lot. And earlier he kind of did it. Can we see a cameraman? I was just quietly watching Jim Carrey deliver that line, and it's really incredible. I read you. I'm sorry if I pee-popped the mic. What was all that 1 in a million talk? God damn, that's funny. Him saying we already have towels is what I was laughing at. Just the smooth delivery of that. Excuse me, gunman? Who are you? See, this is the part of the movie that is my least watched, obviously. Mr. Samsonite. He still thinks it's Samsonite. Oh. Sorry, I'm going to tune out and just kind of watch this for a little bit. It's so fucking funny. I do remember this. You're gonna want to hold on to that one. That's a car. 275,000. Adam Devine bites him so hard. Who can't, though? What am I ragging on him for? My favorite part of the movie is coming up right here. That. The whole emotional arc of the friendship, of the buddy comedy, of the movie was about to be resolved. Like, that's it. That's all the two dumb guys need is... Oh, well, I guess they're angry at each other now. But... French stickler. My friend put that in his AIM profile as, I don't know, his favorite hobby or whatever, and his dad made him take it out. I'll never forget that. He wanted a vegetarian meal. That guy's dressed like the Joker in the new Joker. Aww. Kill him! Kill him! Oh my God. I swear to God, I almost cried over Jim Carrey's tiny little O nose. Harry, you're alive and you're a terrible shot. Horrible shot. Nice. I wonder what Mike Myers thinks of Jim Carrey. What does Jim Carrey think of Mike Myers? Is Jim Carrey from Canada? Does America make anything good? Huh. A lot of people wonder what's going on in this world. And also, remember when we were at the outsides of Colorado and there was those other cops searching for them? How did they know that Harry and Lloyd were good guys now and not good guys then? Because it seemed like they were going to be in trouble then. But now suddenly they were good guys. I only watch Dumb and Dumber when I'm really drunk now, and it's kind of sad. It's like a weird turn of life. You know? Who's this guy? Oh, her husband. They kidnapped her husband. This is so... This is so... See, that pure id of the movie, of men, of writing, of comedy. It's perfect. Oh, it's fucking perfect, dude. I love it. You're gonna love the way you look, I guarantee it. So what did we learn today after watching Dumb and Dumber? We learned comedy is dying, is arguably dead, I would say. All of comedy is dead. We learned that writing comedy is very hard to do. This genre of writing comedy is dead, in my opinion. Nobody writes like this anymore. I'm trying to. It's just... Look at the fucking market. It sucks. It's not funny. This shit fucking slaps. Superbad fucking slaps. After that, trying to think, MacGruber fucking slaps. What are those? Those are simple movies that have care into the comedy of it, and not into too much austerity around what it is, what it's trying to do, who's attached to it, having it be a vehicle for this guy or a vehicle for that guy or a studio thing. I don't know much about any of that shit to begin with, but I love, Superbad was those guys writing that as kids. This has that same sort of energy. Do you realize what you've done? So... something to think about, I guess, is to just care about comedy more. The more people care about being funny, the better off we will all be. I care about being funny more than anything on earth, as you can tell for the last hour and a half. It's the most important thing to me. So, be funny as much as possible. People like you for it. I swear to God. I'm not kidding. If you try to be as funny as possible always, without being annoying, don't be loud. But really, think to yourself, who's the funniest people you know? you like them the best? I guess. I don't fucking know. Seabass, Cam Neely. That's all she wrote. I hope you had a good time talking to me. Hit me up on the stuff if you want. I'll be here. You know where I'm at. And I'm gonna keep talking to the fade to black. And now you should be seeing Sexy Woman in Sweater Friends on the screen. And that's all she wrote for me, Phil Matarese. That's the end of my commentary on the greatest film of all time, Dumb and Dumber. Thank you.
The greatest film of all time, says Phil Matarese, co-creator of HBO's Animals. I want to thank Phil for taking the time to walk us through both the movie and the background on his show, which if you have not seen, as I said before, you must check out. So HBO's Animals, all 3 seasons are available on HBO Max, HBO Go, HBO Now, HBO Proper, all HBO products that stream quality entertainment to you. This is Paul Davidson, your host, once again saying thanks for joining us here at The Sidetrack. If you enjoy the show, please spread the word, subscribe, retweet, and share with your close-knit, COVID-free family. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, I have no final tagline. Thank you.